Today we're making a Huevos Rancheros Pizza. This thing is something that you probably have never had before. I'd never even heard of it, but it was really just more an inspiration that came up a couple months ago. I've made it a couple times now, and it is so good. If you enjoy Huevos Rancheros, you're going to enjoy this pizza. Let's get started. All right, so to make this pizza, it's actually super simple. You got to start, of course, with some pizza dough. Of course, this is our homemade pizza dough, just made fresh today. And we'll leave that recipe, of course, down in the description if you want to make your own homemade. Otherwise, you can use prefab crust, you can use boboli, you can use tortillas if you want. Tortilla technically would make it semi more authentic because of the fact that typically Huevos Rancheros is done on a corn tortilla. But nevertheless, we're making a pizza here. So start with the pizza dough. Then we're going to do some refried beans. I'm doing my homemade refried beans. I'll also link that down in the description below, but it's a very, very simple recipe. If you want to make them from scratch, they're really, really good. Otherwise, you can easily just get a can of refried beans just as easily, or sometimes you can find like specialty pre-made refried beans that are also really good. Next thing you're going to need is about 4 ounces each of cheddar cheese and mozzarella cheese. I have sharp cheddar cheese here, that's what we prefer. And then just regular whole milk mozzarella. Then you're going to need, of course, as would be most obvious, some eggs. Now I have about 7 here because that's about how many will fit on a pizza. We're going to be making over easy eggs. The way that this works, though, is we'll cook up the pizza itself with the beans and the cheese on it, cook that in the oven first, and then we'll cook the over easy eggs in a skillet separately, top it, and then we'll top it with our other toppings. This is, of course, optional. We're doing some pico de gallo. You can do any kind of salsa you prefer, or you can just do hot sauce. You can chop up individual veggies if you want as well. I recommend things like tomatoes, onions, cilantro. We're going to be separately doing also some fresh cilantro, so I just have a bunch here. I'm not going to obviously use all of that, just a little bit of it. And as another optional thing, which is totally worth it, but unfortunately I don't have any ripe at the moment, chopping up some avocado is also really, really good. But all that being said, we're going to go ahead and get started putting this pizza together. All right, so now to assemble our pizza. Once again, I want to remind you, if you have not seen any of our other previous pizza recipes, if you are cooking this just on a normal pizza pan, you can go ahead and do all this on a pizza pan. If you are doing it on something like a pizza stone or a cast iron pizza plate, as what we're doing, then you'll want to do this probably on some type of flat surface, whether it's a cutting board or otherwise. Something also to keep in mind when it comes to this is, if you are doing it on a pizza stone or a pizza plate, you want your oven preheated to 550 degrees. Make sure your pizza plate or pizza stone is in there so that it will be nice and hot when you're ready to put the pizza on it. If you're doing it on a pizza pan, you want your oven preheated to 375 degrees. So we're gonna go ahead and get started assembling our pizza. Of course, always put down cornmeal first so that you can make sure the pizza doesn't stick, especially if you're picking it up with a pizza peel. And then we'll go ahead and add some of our homemade refried beans. And really just gonna add a generous amount. Really, I end up doing somewhere around 1/2 to 2/3 of a cup, give or take. But you can do however much you want. Then we'll be adding our cheese. So I have, once again, 4 ounces of mozzarella cheese and 4 ounces of cheddar cheese, sharp cheddar. But you can use whatever kind of cheddar you like. You could do all cheddar if you want. You could do all mozzarella if you want. I like to do a combination of the two. I know Huevos Rancheros doesn't always have cheese. In fact, a lot of times it doesn't. I personally, like, if I have Huevos Rancheros when I'm just making it normally, I typically just do it with just a corn tortilla, beans, and eggs, and then top it with a little bit of hot sauce. Especially after talking to my friend from Mexico. A shout out to Bernabe. And but for the pizza, obviously, you know, it just makes sense to have cheese. So we'll put down all that cheese, and we're going to put down every last little bit that we have here, because the reality is that we're not going to be adding the eggs until after everything's done, and it's just kind of like that good balance of everything that makes this pizza fantastic. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to put this into our oven at 550 degrees, and we're going to do it for 6 minutes at 550 degrees, and that's with the cast iron pizza plate. And then after it has cooked for 6 minutes at 550, I'll switch it over to the broiler on high for 2 minutes. And of course, if you're doing this on a pizza pan instead, you'll want to do it at 375 for about 15 minutes. And then pull it out, and we'll get our eggs cooked and put them on top of the pizza. All right, pizza's out of the oven and looking absolutely gorgeous. I went ahead and transferred it to pizza pan just so it would be easier to show the process here. But all we're going to be doing now, we have our skillet preheated, and we're going to add a little bit of butter and cook up the eggs. And we're doing a total of 7, all of them over easy. All right, and for the final steps, we'll go ahead and toss on loosely some pico de gallo, then some of our chopped cilantro. And now the taste test. Is it just too hot? You just can't pick it up? Obviously messy.
Very messy. So amazing. I was like, it's, in my opinion, better than a regular Huevos Rancheros. It's so good.
All right. Time to try this beauty. Yeah, definitely stuff falling off, but oh my goodness. It's a mess, but it's so good. I'm telling you, if you love Huevos Rancheros, make this pizza. You will not regret it. Thanks for watching. Please leave a like if you liked this video, subscribe to the channel, and share with your friends, and stay tuned for more recipes that, while not necessarily authentic, are always delicious. Obviously, we got our oven preheat, just take a look at that. Use this kind of as like B-roll footage. Oh man, look at that! Isn't that beautiful? Yeah. Is it too hot?
Mm-hmm. It's kind of hot. Take the plate.